Oh, hello again. Ready for part 3 of my barn build. I hope you enjoyed the last 2. I plan on making more of these. We will switch gears a little bit today. We're going to leave the barn as it is for now. Later we'll add the final details. Today we're going to concentrate more on a foreground here. Foreground, background, you might say. And some tree line. I want to really work that into the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some darkish green color, you might say, with a little grayish tone to it. And how I'm going to do that, I'm going to take my regular foliage green. I really discovered this color and I really like it. And I'm going to mix that with just some of that darker gray. We're going to see what happens. Plus we're going to put in some of this yellow, or the warm brown, I believe. Touch that. What we're going to try to do is bring in these colors in the foreground back here. And how we're going to do that is going to be tricky, to say this the least. But I believe I can accomplish it. Matter of fact, I think I want just a big brush. I'm going to mix these. I'm not going to mix them totally. I want some of those colors to stand out. And that's exactly what I was hoping there. We'll get some streaks. And by doing this, as we blend in the rest of the foliage, you'll see how that comes together. With the total picture. That's my hope. Now down here in the bottom corner, I haven't quite decided what I want to do here. I was thinking of maybe a pond. That's what I think I'm going to do. Get some more of that gray. And the reason why I think I want to do that, I'm going to cover over that grass. Even though we put it there for a reason. I'll fix that in the final product here. But the reason why I think I want to do that is I want to give some sort of another picture aspect, you might say, to what I'm doing here. Okay, notice how I'm trying to blend that right in with that brown that we had on there previously. Okay, enough of the foreground. Now what I want to do, while that's setting up and drying, my plan is to start bringing this fall foliage into the picture. This, remember, is only in the deepest background. When you're painting these paintings, you want to imagine what your painting is going to look like in the end, and always behind that you have true colors coming through. You always want those to be in the darkest reaches. And that's what we're trying to do here by making this color and the streaks. And you'll see as it blends in how that's going to be accomplished. I'm going to switch to a different brush. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take some more colors here. And I'm going to start bringing in those fall colors. We're going to take this orangey looking color. This one's called cadmium yellow, which is pretty common in our world. It's a good blending mix type paint. And we wanted to mix in some of this bright yellow. This was called primary yellow. Yay! I'm using a primary color. That's unusual for me. Okay, now we're going to start off with these colors, and then we'll gradually blend in some of the other colors with it. But what I'm going to do, we're basically dabble to get some textures going here. And with this dabbling, I want to show depth. So I don't want it to all blend together. I want those two colors to really stand out. As you can see, the body's starting to build in there a little bit. Now what I want to do is take a little of this brown, not much, but I want to just darken this in just a tad. I want to show the little shadowing work. So I kind of want to blend that in. Get that off my brush, I've got enough. Also is going to define some depth in what we're doing here. Now I'm going to add something here that I think is going to give us some truer body maybe. After I get done with this little bit here. Just let your imagination run wild with this. You can always backfill later. First you need to build the textures. Now that brown is really starting to kick in. I like what it's doing. You can see how that's really starting to build in there. But one thing I want to do is, well, this is the foreground, basic foreground of everything we're going to do for the background. And you just keep dabbling until you get it where you want it. Need a little bit, just a touch of that brown, not much, but you have to really blend that in when you use it so you get the correct shadowing. But what you're trying to do with the brown is echo in that the depth of the leaves and the foliage. I believe I'm out of the yellow, so let's go back with some yellow. And when you dabble it like this, you use a lot more. I really don't like using this much, but it's part of the game. Now we'll be bringing more color into this as we go. Right now we're just trying to show some depth in our colors. You want to make it look like it's more in the background than it appears to be. Like it's back there a ways. And I'm overlapping onto the barn. I'm doing that for a reason, which you will discover here as we go on. A little bit, touch more of that brown, bring in here, just a touch. Okay, now what we're going to do here, I want to finish building this on out though. So I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to show my plans on evolving this in to the total picture. Remember, I only do basic art. I'm not an artist. I do this for the enjoyment and for the relaxation. And my hope is that everybody out there watching this as I do this will also be working on their art. And we can relax and bring this relaxation together. Put some bright out here, far reaches of my cloud. As you can see that we're starting to develop a little bit of look. There's going to be a lot more developed. That's only the beginning of what we're doing here. Okay. I'm going to sit back and see what I've created here and always take a look at what I need to show more depth. We don't want one big massive thing back there. We want to show individualism with the trees. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring in some very pale orange. This is a bright orange, but we will tone it down with our yellows. Once again, I gotta light, take this off. These foil caps. Yee. Okay, got that. But I just want to show some depth in the area. Maybe have a separation in the trees. Bring that back out in this orangish yellow, cadmium yellow. So I think I got way too much of the orange. So I need to be careful with that. I'm going to introduce a different brush. I've left these in the water too long, mercy. I want more of a stomping style brush. Stiffer brush. Okay, I'm going to imagine here where my different tree is going to be. I want to bring little highlights. As you can see how this is going to go. Just little highlights. And this is how you'll start beginning your fall foliage. I'm going to have all of it going kind of in the same direction, which it really doesn't matter if you do. And what I'm trying to do is define the actual edge of the trees. Now, when you put it on dark like I just did, that's fine. There's a way to straighten that out. Get a little bit off your brush. Come back in and let these other colors take over for you. I'll actually put a little bit more of this orangish yellow. You can start seeing things starting to really develop. Okay, now we're also going to need another color brought in here, believe it or not. I have a visitor just jumped up on the table with me. Good, she jumped down. Whew. My cat again. That's cats for you. They think you got to spend every waking moment over them. And one thing we're leaving out in this that we really need to bring back in is in the fall, you still have some green leaves. I don't want that much. I just want a little. So I'm going to take this foliage green again, which I've got already on my palette. And I'm going to kind of blend in. I'm going to start it out and then I'll gradually just blend it in. Oops, I got the gray. No, I didn't want, I took the wrong color. Oh boy, I wonder if I can hide that. Well, when you make a mistake like that, you just kind of sit back and hope you can get it right. That's supposed to be kind of a tree in the background. I need to lighten it quite a bit. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of that gray that I accidentally put in there. One thing about art, it's forgiving. I could actually wait until that dries and come back later. I'm trying to make this to where it looks like it's a tree in the background. Okay, now remember we're developing colors. These are not necessarily permanent blends. These are developing. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the screen now. I think I have enough of that. I'm going to start blending these colors together. To do so, of course, I need to go back to my orange, my original orange and yellow. And just kind of overlap. I need more of that yellow. Whoa! Oh! I'm putting it on heavy because I'm trying to get that look to come through. So what we need here, a little bit more definition of shape, and we'll get that here in a second. As we continue this out. Okay, Now what I want to do is get away from the green. Trying to find the right brush. It's always a challenge to me, especially when I have too many in the pan here, or in the cup. There we go, smaller brush, perfect. I'm going to get some of this orange. Cadmium yellow, I'm sorry. And I'm going to start lone wolfing this one. Get the brightness back in the picture that we lost. Using a smaller brush, I can define the areas a little bit better. Unfortunately, this can get to people when they're actually trying to work this type of a picture, because it takes a lot of the coloring, the finding of the picture. A lot of people don't have the patience or the know-how when enough is enough, and when, you know, if you should keep going with it. I'm at the belief that I can sit back and look at my painting and decide if I've gone too far. I can come back and go over it. No problem with that. Okay, now here in a little bit, remember that bright yellow I was using? I have completely phased that out now, except for the very background. I'm going to introduce that back in. Hoping you're seeing the developing colors as I do this. The colors are coming back, showing different textures, different shadowing. Now the idea behind the dark green on here that I'm working with now is it brings in the natural green color, but also brings in a natural background to make it look like something's in the back, not in the front of the picture. There's that right there, shows. And the reason why I'm showing more or less the 3D effect, everything coming this way, is because remember the light is shining this way. So you're not going to see the colors coming out in the back of the forest. You're going to be seeing the colors that's up front on the edges. I'm going to introduce a little bit more of that orange right here, because the green dried faster. Greens always do, and I need to cover some of it up. It's not blending too well. Okay, I'm going to get some more of that yellow, or that which one? Yeah, this orange or yellow, whatever it's called, cadmium yellow. I'll pour some more of that out. This is turning into be a difficult area here for some reason, but we will get through it. Might be the best looking area on the whole mat board as we get going too. Almost looks like a hidden pine tree in the background, which is good. Bring some of that orange back down here. I think we're lacking an orange over this area. I have something special planned for this area over here. That will be later on in the picture. Get a little bit more of that orange action going here. I need a little bit of green over there, but I'm so scared to do that. But I'm going to try it. Okay. Put a little bit more back, just a touch here and there. think I missed an area right in here. Okay, let's see. Got that green on there now. I really don't want that. Just enough on my brush to give me some depth. Okay, now we're going to let that dry and set up before I bring in what I want to do. My dream for that area. Now, since this side is dried, I want to start bringing in my other features. And thinking about the pond, I really like that idea. So what I'm going to do, oh, look what I forgot. I forgot this part over here. That's okay. We'll get around to that. Matter of fact, I ought to do it now. For one reason, before my paint's dry, I can get the same mix. It can get kind of, I don't know, how would you state it? Kind of overwhelming with adding these colors in. But to get the true picture, it has to be done. Right now I'm just using the orange. I'll bring the other colors back in. I just went from yellow to orange. Pretty much all I did. Okay, we're going to bring some of this candium back in here. I don't think I have enough. Just a touch of this green. Just a corner on the brush. Maybe too much of a corner. Okay, I'm going to rinse that out. Now remember that bright yellow? If you remember, I'm going to even use a brighter yellow. What I want to do here is I want to bring in a bright sunshine. You always got to remember that sun coming in, and sun actually makes everything brighter. So what I want to do is just dab here and there, not very much, just enough to brighten it up, to show where the sun might be shining. I always like to, the lens that's pointing outward is where I like to put it. That's a little bright there. As you can see, what it starts doing, Starts giving me even yet another dimension. I have a gnat going on my painting. Well, that's not good. I'm going to put more out here because this is actually where the sun's going to be the brightest. I want to really point this at it too because I don't want a brush streak. Okay, you can start seeing how it's, the conglomerate is starting to come along, you might say. Okay, let's let this dry and set up. I need to work more on this area over here. Blend it in a little bit more. But in the meantime, I'm going to start working with this area down there. I have way too many brushes out. Way too many. Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some light gray right here. This is a hard color to mix. I'm going to try my best. I don't want to get too much developed here. Just give a little of that barely any water look. Because if you're standing way off, water might look green, it might look blue. But you close up, you're going to see the mud, the debris. That is going to be in that. And that's what I want to try to develop here, that color. It's a little tricky. Not sure if I can do it. We're going to give it one heck of a shot. Right now I'm just pillowing it in, you might say, kind of just brushing it in. I'm not going to touch the other border. It's not doing bad. A little bit too much blue for me. I can tone that in later. Okay, I don't want to do much more than that. Maybe a little bit more gray up here, but I really don't want to do much more than that. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start building rocks. I believe that's what I'll do. Now don't ask, why are you going to build rocks? You'll see. Okay, I need a couple of colors here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my dark gray, way too much natural gray, or neutral gray. I want to take just a touch of black, not much. That's hard to do with black. Okay, well, that might be a little bit too much. But what I'm going to try to do here is form the shape of a rock. Now, rocks come in many different forms, shapes, sizes, as everybody knows that. And I let my imagination just go wild with these. I'm just going to draw just a series of rocks, however they come out in my brain here. Whoops, too much black, too much black. That's all right, I need it for shading. Now you can start seeing the idea that I have in my mind developing here. And we're going to add some down in this area. Now I'm going to put some smaller ones out in the body of water. I'll blend those together here in a minute. They really don't matter the shape for what I'm going through here, going to do. Okay, now that I've got that on there, I'm trying to decide if I want any more, if I want them bigger, smaller, how I want them. I know I need to do something over here. So I'm going to add these. Now I'm going to start working a little bit here on the body of the rock. I want to make sure that I show depth, definition, and shadowing. Touch a little bit of black on this. Well, that didn't go nowhere. I'm going to shadow mostly the black on one side, then we'll blend it. Remember, I'm trying to keep in mind the sun. Now I'm going to start trying to blend that together. And as you can see, it starts blending in quite nicely. Okay, now I want to get this a little bit better over here. This one, I don't like this one. It's just too oddball. I'm going to switch that up a little bit. Okay, now get that shadowing back together. And as you can see, starting to get the basis of the rock developed in here. These little ones down here, it's not that big a deal. They'll blend in with the picture later. I just wanted to get the basic in there. Okay, a little bit darkening on that. Okay, now we have the basic of our rocks here. Now what I want to do is start blending in other colors, other things into it. Then when we get where I'm satisfied with that, I want to bring in the rocks, maybe sand, something around the bottom of it, because we've got dirt in the background here. So I'm wondering if we shouldn't bring in like sandy shore. It's an idea. What I want to do is I want to bring in some light gray. Where did I do with my light gray? Here it is. I want to give those rocks some texture. Not with this brush. Trying to find a smallish brush. Not a pointy brush, but a small brush. That might do it. Okay. What I want to do is just add texture for highlight. Just dot it along. Once again, these little ones down here really don't matter. Not for what I'm doing here. They will later. Right now, no. Okay. You can kind of see the dimension we're building here when we do this. I like to go back over it, get that color neutralized just a little bit with the gray, so it doesn't look like somebody splattered paint on it. Which, yeah, that's basically what we're doing. We're splattering paint on it. Okay, that's enough for now. Okay, now, if you remember my weeds, I love weeds right here. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start introducing weeds to the background. We're going to bring these weeds right on over. And we're going to, you might like say, connect the dots with the weeds. So let's bring back some more of that raw umber, or whatever, ochre. Get back here close to my green and yellows. Because remember, we got to pull in some of that green too. Okay, there's some of that. I've got some yellow already out of here, so we're good with that. Now, what I want to do is just continue my streaks. Just however you want to go with them. Make sure they're just not all leaning in one area like they're wind blown real badly. And if you remember right, we separate these weeds by different colors that we bring in. Okay, and thus brings in the green. We're going to give this depth. By bringing in yet more colors, as we always do. Remember my bright yellow? That's going to go on these paintings too, on these weeds, just like I did the last ones. So hard to get a yellow to work on a fine tip. Fine tips are great, but they can also be a pain. I think this one is, this brush. Okay, you can start seeing that develop in there. Okay, what I want to do is go back, get my raw umber again, or my ochre. Well, I wish I could say that word. Wish I knew how it was pronounced. And I'm just bringing in the weeds all around these. And we're going to go with the green. Well, this green's not showing up so great because of the brown background. So I'm not liking that. May have to switch to a little bit lighter gray. I think it got a little, the green got a little gray in it. I think that's my whole problem. I do believe that's the problem. So I'm going to wash that out and start some more green. If you remember right, I had that mixed in with my gray and my brown. Yeah, that's more like it. We're going to continue this on out too. And you're starting to see a little bit develop here of the picture. I'm going to start incorporating grass, weeds all through here. The foreground here with the water will kind of develop itself as we go. These will be lightened quite a bit after it dries up and sets up a little bit. I can put another layer of light on there. I can start bringing in my pebbles, my rocks, and I'm hoping to show a little wave coming in here. That's my hope. Not sure if it's really going to work, but I'd love to go ahead and lighten this up. These are way too dark. They do not look 3D to me, so I need to get that 3D thing going. I believe I need to bring in some white, some light colors on the side here, because you have black in the back, you have white in the front. I think I'm out of frame there. Sorry about that. But we have, you can see that we've got a good thing going here. We're starting to build our fall colors, fall foliage. We've got our barn basically done except for accents here and there. I still want to do something, have tree limb or something dropping down over the barn roof. Here I want to complete our pond, and while I'm thinking of it, I was going to show you another little thing I was going to do. I don't have the right brown, but I'll do it with this light brown. I was going to make these into cattails. Why would I want cattails? Well, basically, it's water. What do you have in water? Cattails. So there you go. But we'll work more on that later. I have to do some background before I get to that point. But I'm going to call it quits here for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you enjoy how we got our fall colors looking. The whole total picture starting to come together. It will more as we go. We still have all of this foreground to put in here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe a fence line, more weeds. Of course, this is an abandoned barn, so there's going to be a lot of weeds. You got to get used to that. Don't know if I want to put more trees here. I know I want to put foliage background, like a fall background, smaller trees back here. I want to add in some limbs to give it some depth. There's quite a bit here I want to do. So I hope you stay with me. When we get done with this painting, we're going to go with that painting. We're going to add some more touches to it, which you haven't seen that painting yet. But I thought, as I was doing that, I thought it would be great to share that with you as we go. Of course, there's more rocks in that one. I don't know why I'm caught into rocks and ponds, but it seems to have been my thing here lately. But I'm going to let go with this today. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like this video, and I hope you push the like button. I hope you become a member and subscribe. And I'll wait for you on the next show. Thank you.